Rivera here. I am the founder of Market Leader Game, and I'm going to give you an update on the progress of that software. The agenda, the things that I want to talk to you about today, the investing strategy assumptions that I applied in the software. That topic will talk mostly to financial advisors and planners. I also want to talk to you about the premise for generating a financial operations scorecard, and that should talk mostly to potential investors. How is the software using which data for what prediction? So the software is using certain algorithms, comparative analysis, and so how is software using that data to perform those functions to determine what are the most optimal stocks to invest in? I'll also talk a little bit about platform security in checking the access logs. I found some very interesting things that I'll share with you. And then next steps for the software, I want to cover that as well. So what are the investing strategies that are used? Four primary things: efficiency and financial operations. That was number one for me. I'll go over that in detail, what exactly that means and how you measure that. Stock price probability, which has nothing to do with the company product, their financial operations, their sales performance. What stock price probability is, it's an algorithm that gives you a probability of what that stock price is going to be based on things like current price, uh, the volatility of that price, and the number of iterations that you want to run that model to get a probable price at 1 and 5 year time horizons. Number three, diversification across sectors. So when I make investment decisions, when I pick what companies I'm going to invest in, I want to make sure that I don't pick that I'm not too heavily weighted in one particular sector. If I spread out my investments across sectors, I feel like I'm limiting my risk. So that's also very important in terms of what companies I pick that I'm going to invest in. And then finally, invest in what you know. Invest in companies that you're familiar with, maybe products that you use and really like. Because if you like that product, more than likely a lot of other people will also like that product. So those four things combined is what I use to make investment decisions. And I'll show you how that plays out in software. Investing strategy assumptions that I'm making. Number one, that if you have efficient financial operations, your stock price will increase over a period of time. Financial efficiency means that you have a marketable product that is generating revenue. Financial efficiency also means that you continuously monitor and maintain the cost of operations below revenue. Financial operations performance can be measured, and that performance can be compared against other companies. Software can assign a score based on that relative performance, and you can use that score to make informed investment decisions. And that, in a nutshell, is really what market leader game investing software is all about. And I'll show you how that works. Performance metrics that I use in software, earnings per share, profit margin, return on equity, those kinds of things. And why are those things important? For earnings per share? Show you the profitability on a per share basis for it, and that's very important. And your comparative performance against other companies, those companies that perform better will bubble to the top in terms of what companies you should invest in. Profit margin means that you're efficient in generating profits from operations. That's also a very important metric. Return on equity, efficiency in utilizing your shareholder funds to generate profit. Expense to revenue percentage, that's almost self-explanatory, right? The cost management efficiency and overall profitability is what you're measuring there. 5 year growth rate means that, historical performance is an indicator of how you're going to perform in the future. And revenue per employee is an indicator of productivity. All those things combined, a score for each one of those things, and then I have a total score. Now I want to show you how I use that investment strategy to create my own portfolio. Just as an example, I'll show you how the profit margin bell curve and score looks like. You can see there the values on top and the score on the bottom of that bell curve. And then I showed you an example here for Alphabet or Google and how they scored. They had 2.4 on profit, or 0.24 rather, on profit margin. And that score you can see in the bell curve is about a B. Efficiency, a good efficiency rating on profit margin means that you're managing your expenses effectively and you're maintaining profit at a good level relative to expenses. And that's very important. And you can see there the other metrics that I'm using and how Alphabet scored in those metrics and the explanation of why that metric and performance is important. Here is informed investment table. These are the selections that I made based on those investment strategies. With Apple, I'm familiar with. I'm an Apple product user. I'm familiar with it. They scored high on the market leader scorecard, a 27 out of 35. The LSM or Square's algorithm probability score was low, but the total score combined was, higher than most. I picked Netflix and Eli Lilly, Wing for consumer cyclical investment. Based on those selections, I am expecting at least an 18% return. So, security vulnerabilities. As I'm assessing the website and performing their analysis of different companies, and while I'm looking at the access logs for that, I'm finding that there are people that are not using the application, but for some reason are trying to break in. Folks, there's nothing to steal here. I don't have any information there yet about users. It's you just go in there and try it and pull data and get a report card on companies and make informed investment decisions, but there's nothing to steal. But this particular IP address, you can see that 179.43.192.18, access uh, my server and issued a requested a URL that is injecting commands in that request. And you can see there that once that IP address that initiated the access log entry is actually calling another IP address to perform commands that are, not too nice, right? They're trying to change mode 777. So if you're a Unix or Linux knowledgeable, you know that that's changing permissions on a file, and then it's trying to execute a command there, and who knows what that command is, right? So here's what they're trying to do. As I dig deeper into that, I find that that IP address is coming from somewhere in Switzerland. I looked at the blacklist status for that IP address, and in fact, other people have reported that IP address as performing, suspicious work. And then the other IP address that 179 calls is 103, and that one is originating from Vietnam. And that one has not been reported yet, which is probably something that I am going to do very soon, is report that IP address and get them on the list. So anyway, if you are running a web server, look for those IP addresses. If you see them, lock them out. Okay, so what are the next steps? I need to install SSL certificates to secure my website. I need to continuously perform cybersecurity analysis and review and take corrective action based on what I find there. I need to install and configure a database for an access control list. And then finally, I need to do PayPal integration so that you can do quantitative financial analysis of any uh, stock market listed company. And then continuously monitor and enhance the features of the application. So that's it. Quick update. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for when those changes get executed, and I look forward to any feedback. There's my information there, the website to access the application, my email. If you have any comments, and my LinkedIn. Thank you very much for listening.